In a series of decisive moves on Saturday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy signed into law several measures targeting Russia as his country marked its 33rd Independence Day.
Today, we celebrate the 33rd Independence Day of Ukraine, and we are confident that Ukrainians will always celebrate this holiday in their free capital and in their own sovereign state. Ukraine will always maintain its independence, and this will never be in question again.
Among these was the ratification of the Rome Statute, paving the way for Ukraine to join the International Criminal Court, a significant step in Kyiv's ongoing efforts to hold Russia accountable for alleged war crimes. The ratification of the Rome Statute is seen as a crucial development in Ukraine's legal and diplomatic strategy against Russia. By becoming a full member of the ICC, Ukraine not only strengthens its position on the international stage, but also increases the likelihood of Russian officials, including President Vladimir Putin, facing prosecution for their roles in the conflict. The ICC has already issued arrest warrants for Putin and former Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, accusing them of crimes against Ukrainian civilians, a charge that Moscow has vehemently denied, insisting that its military operations do not target civilians. In addition to the Rome Statute ratification, Zelensky signed a law banning religious organizations linked to Moscow, a move that has been in the works for some time. The Ukrainian parliament had approved the legislation earlier this month, creating a legal framework for the government to outlaw a branch of the Orthodox Church that has historical ties to Russia. Another significant piece of legislation signed by Zelensky grants Ukrainian citizenship to foreign nationals who are fighting in the Ukrainian army against Russian forces. Despite the celebratory atmosphere, the realities of the ongoing conflict were starkly evident. In the eastern Ukrainian town of Kostiantynivka, a Russian attack on Saturday claimed the lives of at least 5 civilians and wounded 5 others. The town, situated close to the active combat zone, has been a focal point of Russian military operations, with Moscow's forces inching forward in recent months as they press toward the strategic logistics hub of Pokrovsk. Adding to the day's developments, President Zelensky also announced the successful use of a new domestically produced weapon against Russian forces.
Today, we had the first and successful combat use of our new weapon, a completely new class of weapon, the Ukrainian missile drone Palyanitsa. This is our new method of retribution against the aggressor. The enemy was struck. I thank everyone who made this possible, all the developers, manufacturers, and our warriors. I am proud of you. And we know that in Russia, it will be very difficult. Difficult even to understand what exactly hit them. Difficult to counteract, but very easy to understand why.
Meanwhile, Russia and Ukraine exchanged 115 prisoners of war from each side on Saturday after the United Arab Emirates acted as an intermediary. It is the first such exchange since Ukraine launched a surprise attack into Russia's Kursk region. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the Russian servicemen swapped were captured in the Kursk region. All released Russian soldiers are now in Belarus and will receive medical treatment and rehabilitation upon their return to Russia. It is the seventh such exchange the UAE has mediated since Russia attacked Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin convened a meeting with the leadership of the Joint Group of Forces at a Ministry of Defense command post. During the session, he was briefed by Valery Gerasimov, Chief of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces, and Sergei Rudskoy, Chief of the Main Operational Directorate, on the situation in the Kursk region and the progress of the ongoing special military operation. As the conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues to escalate, both nations remain steadfast in their pursuits. Ukraine in its fight for sovereignty and justice, and Russia in its military objectives.